Good morning and welcome to the BioMarine conference pitching session. With me I have Pia Winberg, welcome.
Thank you.
From Venus Shell, which is an Australian startup with already 15 years experience in R&D in seaweed industry. Can you tell us a little bit about Venus, how it started, and which are the key differentiating factors in the market?
Well, I have a very strong marine ecology background, looking for the sustainable future of food production from the sea, and have dabbled in many types of aquaculture, but continuously over the last 15 years it always came back to seaweed being very important in contributing to the sustainability of aquaculture. But more interestingly, it's a new global crop that we really haven't appreciated. And the opportunities to make this industry more sophisticated and to provide very high value, high nutritional seaweed crops is something that hasn't really been addressed, and harnessing the control and traceability of the genes, the species and the cultivation to deliver high value products. That's where we see ourselves as different to the current seaweed industries and where the growth for seaweed can really happen.
Okay, thank you. How is the technology so far developing? Is it common ground for everyone, or does Venus Shell also edge in terms of technology and development of new solutions?
So seaweed production is predominantly today based in the oceans, and it's a great viable biomass production, and some of them are even commodities today. But there's very little that's controlled production on land, and the benefits of what we do are that we can actually increase proteins, pigments and things in our seaweeds because we can control the environment in land systems. And we can reach things like 35% protein or deliver high concentrations of certain pigments. And this is very important for a nutritionally rich biomass for the higher value markets. And we even can take components out of that for medical materials, for example. So we've done a lot of the research from production and tailoring that to food, feed and medical materials. And that's something that we have quite exclusive knowledge on, and understanding those pipelines to market very rapidly and directly, and being one of the few that have such control and traceability of the seaweed biomass.
Very good. In terms of geographies, how do your projects run? Where are you present?
So we're in Australia, about 2 hours south of Sydney, on a very clean and blue and coastal environment called the Shoalhaven. And this region has had a history of fishing and forestry, but now looking for transition into new things. And through those agri-industries before, already has some big company infrastructures and refineries. And we've actually created a blue biotech cluster in this region, and are very much embraced by our local regulatory government authorities as well as other industries, and collaboration with them in a future of product development that goes beyond what we can already do today. And we can guarantee with this very clean national park type catchment and clean oceans that the products will be a premium product in that way.
Okay, so I'm understanding that the partnerships that you have currently, either public or industrial partners, are very important for you. This also affects probably the sources of funding that you currently use. How do you see those developing in the future? Would you envisage a different weight or a participation of a further number of parties from a specific side? Or how do you see it?
Well, we've had a history in our work of research funded by public entities, but we're now going into the field of really commercializing something, and that takes a real diverse set of skills. And it's not just the science that's going to take it to a really successful story. It's in part the government, and as I said, we've got a very strong support from our regional development. And in tackling these new frontier industries, you're going to come up against a regulation that, not for a good reason, but a reason, it sort of becomes a barrier. So working with them is very important. We already have that, so we're very happy that we can tackle those challenges. But what's important is to have very constructive investors that have the business acumen in scaling in distributing or marketing the product that we've got, understanding how to manage and prioritise markets and provide the adequate capital to really ramp it up and make it happen, because we can make this happen and get to market next year, but we need that business acumen and the resources that can drive that.
Okay. In terms of business development, where do you see your presence in the future? Which continents do you think that you will have contracts or you'll try to develop commercially?
We're already interacting with the world, and I see in this frontier of aquaculture and new sustainable industries, it's global, and our partners are local and they're global. Already here in Portugal, we've got partners working on medical applications that we believe can get to market within 3 years. And also working with the aquafeed sectors and showing how we can benefit fish health from those sectors. So we have both customers downstream, we have applications in markets that we're co-developing products with, and we are in discussions about where else can we put this kind of production system in the world, so that the source can maybe be closer to the processors in some instances. So already we have a global network of ideas and have prioritised which one of those we'll tackle next year.
Okay, so far, how would you describe the production capacity that you have, and where do you see it going in the near future?
Well, that's really important to appreciate how we can get to scale with this. So we're at a 1 tonne capacity right now, having finished a pilot system. But we're actually integrated with the 9th biggest wheat refinery in the world. We capture their carbon dioxide from their clean wheat processing to ethanol, and we use that to grow our seaweeds faster, and they have so much nitrogen waste. This is a major commodity with waste resources that are clean, but that are the scale of commodities. So our ambition is to get to a 3,000 tonne production within the next 3 years, and then scale up in a modular way beyond that very rapidly, because some of the industries we need to target in the future, for example in salmon feeds, are at the scale of 250,000 tonne capacity. So we have that vision, but we also have the markets that are smaller scales already in the next 3 years, and we can address those markets.
Okay. Which are the key aspects that you are looking for in a conference, in a convention such as this BioMarine convention?
There's so many different skills, expertise and commercial opportunities that emerge in the discussions, in the sessions and the coffee breaks here. You meet people that actually have a process you were looking for in taking your seaweed product to a downstream customer, and so we can co-develop those products together, and we can look at customers as well of the biomass for aquafeeds, for example, and even ideas around the R&D that we will continue on into the future get seeded at a conference like this. The trajectory and the vision gets reinforced in your own mind.
Thank you. Pia, thank you very much for being with us, and we wish you all the best and the developments in the near future that we've been discussing. And thank you for joining us at this conference and in Portugal.
Thanks Portugal, and thanks BioMarine.